Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to a special presentation of Procrastinator's Pit Stop. I am with Juliet Agocha once again, and if you haven't seen that episode, I would recommend that you see an episode on the podcast as well. Just gonna have this link here one moment, and we will get that here really quick. Okay, so we are live. I am just sending out the link so that everybody can get to it. All right, Juliet, you should have that in the chat.
Yes.
All
All right. Thank you.
right. Now, did you want a couple of seconds? And while you're doing that, I just wanted to give everyone the heads up that today we are discussing cybersecurity online. So all that information, I know that, recently we've just seen that the kids have gone into school and we know that there are a lot of parents out there that maybe, if you don't know what your kid's doing, you should know what your kid's doing for sure, because there's so much out there that is that's amazing, but there is also so much out there that, we should be a little bit careful with as well. Isn't that right, Juliet?
Absolutely. Yes. And we're going to talk about them today.
Yeah, we sure are. Okay, go. And just before we jump into it, I like those little icebreakers, so we won't break that. So, Juliet, which cartoon character would you have dinner with and why?
Well, every parent know this. The cartoon character I could like to have dinner, I guess is Coco Melon. So, I mean, if you are a parent and you have little ones, you should know that Coco Melon is about family, is about dedication. It's always want to be, included. And I think another one is where is that one my son always like to watch? I think it's Peppa Pig. But not actually Peppa Pig is the brother of the George.
Oh,
So
Joe.
George is very precise of what he wants.
Mm.
George is very specific. George is not the type of person that you can boss around. So that character is just my favorite. So Coco Melon and Peppa Pig, and it's George on the Peppa Pig. I would love to have dinner with them, honestly.
Okay, that's an interesting choice. I think that I would choose probably from the same creators as Peppa Pig. I would choose Ben and Holly though, because they have that magic picnic basket, get
Oh, that's good.
the jelly and the
Yeah,
sodas and stuff. I think I'd choose them.
absolutely. Those are it's just something that remind us, even the children, they love these shows, but these shows also teach us as an adult how to apply the skills there into our own personal life, how to be determined, how to be focused, how to be, you know, consistent with our action, how to be responsible for our own actions. So those, when I watch those things, I'm just amazed. I said, wow, I am also learning something from them. So it's amazing.
Excellent, excellent. So why don't we dive into it? The first topic that we wanted to go into is, what exactly is personal information and why is it important to keep it private online?
Personal information, in my own definition, is anything that you don't want to be out there. I know we kind of define it as some things that are private to us. Let's say our social secret number. For those of us in the United States, we call it social secret number, but it's personal identification number for others. I don't know, like different countries have different name of like what they call it. It's about things that you don't want it to be out there. In my own opinion, I would say if you don't want your credit card to be out there, then don't post it. So personal information is that thing that can take someone, a stranger, to locate you personally. It could be your credit card, it could be your home address, it could be social security, your birthday, it could be your driver's license, it could be your plate number, it could be anything. But one key I want to leave our audience today is whatever you don't want someone to know about you, do not post it.
That's very good advice because as we know, the internet is forever and information can be accessed really quickly and really easily. So all that information that you don't necessarily want to have floating around out there. And this can include things such as just going on school vacations or family vacations on Facebook. Um, this is something that happened a few years ago. I don't know if it still happens now, but it is a good cautionary tale. There was a rash of thefts, like home robberies,
Mhm.
in different areas, and it's because what people were doing is they were friending people on Facebook, and when these people said that they were going on vacation for a week and they're posting their family photos and posting all the fun stuff they were doing, well, this group of people was back at their house and stealing their TVs, their PlayStation, everything out of their house. So it's not that you can't share that sort of information, but maybe share it with those people that you know and you trust for sure, right?
Absolutely. And not just that, because we live in a world of social media. No, most people or some people, they want to display this kind of lifestyle online that speaks a certain lifestyle of how they live. My advice is don't post it if you don't want it to be exposed. Don't post it if you think that could expose you to risk. Don't post it if you think it's not even necessary to post. Um, I mean, before you post it, what is the goal? Are you trying to gain more likes or more comment or viral? What is your goal? So why do you want to expose yourself? And this is something, the moment you post something online, you are no longer in control. So technology takes control of it. The moment it leaves your phone and you post it on Instagram, on Facebook, wherever you post it, LinkedIn, Twitter, you are no longer in control. Somebody else become in control of that data. So anything you don't want it to be out there, then don't post it. Keep it to your phone, keep it to yourself. And another thing is, most people don't really care about those things. I'm telling you, having studied cybersecurity, experts in this technology thing, I will tell you that social media does not actually justify nothing. It does not validate who you are. The moment they read it, they see it. Another person is going to post something more interesting than what you posted yesterday. They're going to feed on that. But then you have already exposed yourself. So, no, whatever that you don't want anybody to know, keep it to yourself. It's no longer a secret once you post it. So, it's very important for people to take precaution of how they use social platforms.
That is very true. And just swinging into our next item, which is passwords, right? So the information that you do have online, you should protect, and any of your online identities, you should protect as well, because somebody could take your password and they could pretend to be you, or they could download some, sensitive information or things like that. So how do you personally create strong passwords to protect your online accounts, Juliet?
How you can do that is you have to use a strong password, a strong character. You have to mix it with special characters. You have to make it long. I always recommend password to be at least 12 digits long. Okay. Mix with numbers, digits, characters. uppercase, lowercase. Do not include your name when you are creating a password. A lot of people make that mistake. Do not include your name. If my name is Juliet, if I say Juliet at Chris, this is something that anybody could guess like this. So if you want to have a strong password, you have to have a mixture of numbers, digits, characters, special characters, something like arts, the pound sign and all that. And please don't include your name. Don't use your children's name. Don't use your bank account. Don't use anything that someone could easily guess. And that is how you can achieve a strong password.
And I know that the other big tip to Juliet is to not use the same password in more than one spot. But, with 12 characters and, the special characters, the at sign, the dollar sign, the exclamation point, and using a mix of numbers and letters, and then using a new password for every single website you go to can be quite a challenge. How would you manage that?
Why it's not recommended to use one password across multiple places is because once a data link is linked to one place on the website, let's say you visited the website and there is a data leakage, it's going to affect not only you. This is something people have to understand. When a data breach happens, it's not just about you. They could use it to get everyone that is connected to you. So they could use that weak password to gain entry to your information that will link them to your children's information, to your husband, your spouse, your bank account, and all that. Now I know the struggle of, okay, I visit different places. How can I have 300 password? Now there is a trick to it. You could use password tracker. There are different secured applications you could use for your password. And also, one thing I recommend is why I don't fully recommend someone to use the same password across multiple platforms. That is a way you could also trick it. You have to understand that that password have to make sense to you, but does not make sense to somebody else. So my password makes sense to me, but you cannot guess it because it will never make sense to you. So you could use password tracker. That is different applications, very secured vault that are secured out there. One can download to use it to track those passwords, to use it to secure your password. So that way you are not struggling with 30 password, different platform, and you get locked out.
It's very good advice. I know that, yeah, there's something called Vault, and I think there's One Pass, LastPass. I actually use Sticky Password, but the big worry about that is that now I don't know any of my passwords, so that could be a problem someday in the future, and I always worry about that for sure. So always be sure to back up your passwords somewhere, either a secure file folder or something, just in case that service for whatever reason goes down for a day. Because right now, as it stands, like if that service went down, I think I'd be a little bit panicked because I don't know my password. So actually, I'm gonna make a note to do that right now. Actually, after the show, I'm gonna go ahead and download that.
Yeah, of course. And some of the people watching us today, you can also be old school like myself. You can also write it down, have your sticky note where you know your laptop, you know your place, you know how you are. So you could actually be old school by writing it down. That way you have your personal note taking. Like myself, I always have my sticky note everywhere because I love to be very practical. So you can also be like that and just make sure that is somewhere you put those things where somebody else cannot access. Those are the things that are personal to you. So you should always secure them because you don't want to write something down and then you lose the paper or whatever. So you can just use a traditional sticky note.
Actually, I have tons of sticky notes. There's just no passwords on in my
Or
house.
just don't post it. Don't post it on the wall because you don't know who's gonna come to your home, right? And then Gareth says, well, you could just, use you can also download the one there's some sticky note on the ones you can actually download on your laptop. That I think those ones are actually free, but it depends on what work for you. But the key thing is just know that the scammers are out there. Just know that any information that you leave out there, you are no longer in control. So try as much as possible to be in control of your data, your personal informations.
Very good advice, and we should all do that. You mentioned that the scammers are out there, and oh yeah, they are out there. What are some of the common online scams or dangers that our kids should be aware of?
Oh, there's a couple of them. There is you have won $1 million. So there is all this email spam. There is someone telling you, please click on this to download this. I always, get something like you have won $100 million. Of course, it sounds so good. Who doesn't want $1 million? But if it sounds so true, then it's not true, right? So, um, children should be aware of those things. Children should be aware of the people they meet online. I noticed that after the whole COVID, the entire space, universe just kind of readjusted to this life of virtual meeting. And there is nothing, in my opinion, wrong with that because this is our normal norm right now after the COVID. Like we are here, this is the life that we have embraced. However, you have to, as parent, you have to supervise your children, know what they are doing. Don't ever assume they are safe. There are different scammers out there. There are the ones that we tell them, oh, you are my neighbor. I actually know you, stuff like that is all lies. You have to educate these children. Anyone telling you to send money to them, do not do that. Anyone asking you for nude, send me this picture, send me this, do not do it. This is the one that I want to really emphasize for every parent watching us today. Please re-educate your children. Don't assume they know. Those kids, they could be 7 feet tall, but their knowledge, their wisdom is not 7 feet tall. Their wisdom is still the age. If they are 12 years, their wisdom is still 12 years. So please educate the children out there, your kids. Tell them, do not send anything that, in fact, do not even send anything. Don't send your nude and don't trust people you meet online because now I found out that children love this game. There is a lot of games out there, Roblox, these blocks, that blocks. I'm not a fan of games. I barely watch TV. I don't do those things, but I'm emphasizing that if you have children that plays online, you can't totally control what they do, but you can prevent what they do by supervising them, by telling them precautions they have to follow. Please don't send anything to anybody. And those people online, they're not your friends. If you can't see them, they're not your friends. So they could have their fun and put limits to how much time they spend online. Don't you are in control. Parents, we are in control. They are not. So I want to just emphasize that these are some of the scams out there. Send me this to get this. You have won this amount. You have won this prize. There is no prize you won. Every prize that you need to win, you have to work for it. So if you did not work for it, there is no prize. So those are scams out there. Emails. Please download this attachment. Don't download it. So those are the things that we have to constantly be aware of and let our children be aware of those things and re-educate them every day that those things are not safe.
And and just going back to that topic as well, kids need to pay attention and they need to be aware. So, how can you identify a website or a message that may not be safe or trustworthy then?
Absolutely. Um, being someone that I'm a web developer, so anything about development applications, I am, good at that. One of the things you have to pay attention is the URL of that website. So SSL means that website is secured. If it doesn't have, which is, if you are a parent watching us today, I'm referring to when you look at a website, you will see a little key. There is a key there. That key is locked. It's telling you that that website is secured. If that key is open, and you will also see, in most cases, there is a red something on that website, you can actually know that that website is not secured. So that is one. Another way is pay attention to the word, the graphics. If there are multiple mistakes, typo, errors on spelling, that website is not trustworthy. Because these are especially that one, because they know, most scammers know that once a lot of people have identified that SSL is very important. So now they could have that. But if you want to say hello and you are typing something else, and if you read the website, there is multiple mistakes, please pay attention. Because there's no a professional business owner that want to present themselves wrongly. So look at it like that. So it's always like those little things that matters. So if you notice that your website is full of grammatical errors, misspelling, and things don't make sense, and is too true to be true, please be very careful. It may be scam.
Mhm. And just going into this as well. So, what should you do if you receive a message from someone you don't know online then?
What you should do if you receive a message from somebody you do not know, do not respond to it. One way you could find out about the person, you can actually copy that email, can search that email. I do that all the time. You could search that email. You could also see if there is any phone number there to confirm that person. If you receive an email from an unknown sender, even right now, at least Outlook puts something. I don't know if it's just mine, but there is something on Outlook that will tell you trusted sender or non-trusted sender, something like that. Block the sender, or it said there trusted sender. Then if you click on that trusted sender, then the email will now be like we open, and the graphic and the images will open and all that. If you receive an email from somebody you do not know, please, if you're a minor, seek your parents' attention. Let them know. Don't think you know it. I got this. No, you do not. You do not. Delete the message. Completely delete the message, depending on the content of that message or that email. Delete it. You don't need it to be there. There is also an option where you delete and you report as spam. You can use that option, or you can just totally delete it. Do not click on it. Do not be cautious, like you become curious, you want to know more. Is that curiosity sometimes that lure people to become a victim? So you could just delete completely. You could seek, if you're a minor, seek your parents' attention, seek your elders' attention, guardian attention, and say, look at the email I received. What do I do? Please don't respond to strangers. Children do not do that. A lot of children have fallen victim, and things go so wrong before the parents could even know. So the prevention is always better than the whole treatment. It's better than care. So please, if you receive email from an unknown sender, they're not making sense to you, delete that message immediately. It's not. If they need any attention, they should be reaching out to your parents, not even you.
Very good, very good. And again, that just reinforces why it's so important for, for the kids out there to ask their parents or an adult, for permission before they share any photos or information online, especially if it comes from this email that they may not know.
Absolutely. And these are because those scammers, one thing I want to point out is from my experience as a cybersecurity expert, most of the scammers could study their victim very well. So don't assume that you know it. These are the things that they do. Just like you and I, we have our specialty. I'm a technology person, so that is my specialty. You can't teach me, things in my specialty. I am expert in it. So some of those scammers, those are what they do. So that's why before, sometimes they target their victims. They study their victims. They know their victims and they go after those victims. Sometimes they don't know their victims. So if you fall victim to their scam, then you become one of them, right? So that is why it's so important for parent to be involved. And as a mother, this is just my personal advice. As a mother, you have to have boundary where you are a mother, not a friend. Because when we start having, especially girls, they are growing, they're excited, they're excited about their friends, they're making new friends at school. Things get some, excitement and out of hand sometimes. You are in control. They are not. Your teenage daughter is not in control. Your son is not in control. You, as a mother, you, as a father, you are in control. Therefore, because you are in control, you have to set boundaries. You have to know what they're doing. You have to track their history, their browsing history. You could just leave them to do whatever they're doing. And once they finish, you just grab it and check their browsing history. That will tell you so many things that you need to know: where they went to, what they said, what they browsed, and so many things. And technology is so smart right now that there is a lot of tools out there to track them. You can actually be controlling their device from your own device. So these are the things that we have to, look into, and please take advantage of all these available resources out there to protect the children online.
Actually, you're right, Juliet, and Google just I don't know if it's recent, but I know my own daughter is not very happy with Google right now because she input her birthday because I told her you always have to tell the truth. And now she says, but Dad, now I'm being punished because now I have to ask you permission to install all the apps that go on my phone. I have to, because she's got the account through Google, and the Google Play Store makes it so that you can track your child's device, but you also see what they do on their phone and you see what applications they're using, and you have to give permission for them to use those applications. And she wasn't too happy about that. But I mean, it's kind of sad because in one part, I mean, they kind of lose a little bit of the privacy, but again, when they're, underage, I mean, you kind of have to step up and be sure that you can keep them safe from that sort of thing, right?
Yes, and it's okay for them to feel discomfort for a temporary time than for them to feel hurt for a long period of time. So it's okay. I understand because I have three amazing children. My two are growing into adulthood. So I understand like those grumpy attitude and all that. But I always tell my daughters, this is the reason why I am doing this, because I want that security, online security, to register in your mind that when I'm no longer there, when you move to college, I'm no longer there to watch you. I want you to be responsible for your actions. But I have to lay the foundation now, regardless of their attitude. Yes, they don't like it. They feel like they're losing that, you know, sense of sense of accountability or sense of ownership. However, the goal is for me to protect you as your mother, and the goal is for me to make sure you're safe. So when you get to a certain age, I can trust you to give you whatever you need. So you have to be matured Because when you give someone something when they cannot handle it, it's no longer a gift, it becomes a distortion to them. So I don't want to give you something that's supposed to be a blessing, but because as a parent, I failed to help you to know what that is supposed to be used for. Now I'm giving it to you now, just like every other parent, but I didn't do my homework. I didn't set the boundaries. I didn't educate you. Now what's supposed to be a blessing become a curse. I don't want that to happen. So it's okay for them to be grumpy. It's okay for them to have attitude. However, it's also okay for me to reinforce that I want you to be protected. I want you to be safe. Safety first. And when they get to a certain age, because of that accountability they have displayed, I'm no longer in control. They are not in control.
Yes, exactly, and well put. It is about accountability and them learning to navigate the world on their own as well. So, I mean, we can't be there all the time, right? I mean, we even if we have all these tools and we have these notifications, I mean, we can't be there all the time. And so how can they stay safe while they're playing games or chatting with friends online if we're not monitoring it?
How we can how they can stay safe is we are monitoring, but not actually looking over their shoulder every minute. Remember, regardless of how much we want them to be safe, we also want them to learn. We also want them to be accountable for their action. So, one, as a parent, you have to check the history of what your children are browsing. Number two, you have to set a time limit or how much time they spend on whatever they're doing. You have to set those boundaries. As a parent, you have to re-educate them. They could be educated about online. Yeah, I know it's not good to talk to a stranger, but reinforce it as a parent. You have to be practical. You have to let them know, don't do this, don't click on this. So don't assume that they know it. They could know it, but you have to always constantly remind them how important it is. And also have to set an example. How to set an example for the children. If you don't want them spending 3 hours on device, you don't spend 3 hours on devices. You have to let them understand there is something called family time. There is something called, playtime. And you have to help them with books. Get them books. Because sometimes children, they invest so much time in what is available to them. So if electronics devices are what is mostly available to them, they spend more time on it. So you have to cultivate the habit of engaging them outside that devices. Give them books to read. Give them drawing to draw. Give them blocks to put together, depending on their age. Give them something that entices them. Children are very curious. They have this mind of solving problem. So give them, engage them early, catch them early, so that way they know, okay, I have spent so much time on this. And then you take away that device. And when you take away that device, don't just close it. Check what they did. Check their browsing history and block certain things. Very important. Block certain things because even YouTube right now, you could block YouTube from their device if you don't want them to go there. They have different types of YouTube. I know they have the adult YouTube, they have the kids YouTube. So if you don't want them seeing the adult YouTube, block it from the device. If you don't want them browsing Instagram, block it from their device. Facebook, all this, block it. There is app, there is functions there. And you could also see myself, I set up this family sharing thing that send me the history of all the devices in our family, the history of the browse. So I don't have to, constantly going to look over. So I do what I'm supposed to do without them knowing what I'm doing. So yes, we are in control as parents. So that's how you can keep the children safe online. Because, like you said, we may not be always there. We won't be always there, but we can take precautions to make sure that when we are not there, they are safe.
No, for sure. You hit something interesting there about the social media platforms like Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat and I don't know, WhatsApp and whatever else that they're using. And we don't really want to cut them off sometimes from their friends or things like that. But I mean, if all they're available to do is on the phone and they have to do that, how can they avoid cyberbullying and stay safe while using these social media platforms?
I think I lost you a little bit.
Oh, that's okay. So I was saying, we can't always avoid them being on social media, but how can maybe some tips for them to avoid cyberbullying and staying safe on the social media platforms?
Cyberbullying, if you want to stay safe from it, don't be one. Don't be what you do not want. So, as children, as teenagers, don't be a cyberbully. Don't be it. Don't bully other people. And with that being said, how they can stay safe is number one, know the age that your children are supposed to even be browsing those things. As much as I'm concerned, my kids are not seeing social media until they get to a certain age. Because what is even out there? They should be involved with their school. They should be involved with their homework. They should be involved with other things, not browsing Instagram. Those are not. What is the gain? That is even what is the goal? If you want to go on Instagram, what do you want to achieve? Are you there to connect with your friends? Well, are you there to build networking? What are you there for? So the first question is before you create an account for them, what is the goal that you want them to achieve? I don't see any justification for a child 10 years on Instagram. What are you Instagramming for? You should be focusing on your school. I don't see a child, of 11, 13 browsing, having Twitter. I think that's what they call that one, Twitter, all these places. What are you there for? The age you are is to focus on your school. Now, for the ones that are the age to open social media, number one is don't be a bully. Don't bully people. Don't be a troll. Don't troll other people. And now you staying safe is for you to avoid those things. Don't engage on online argument. Don't be the keyword warrior where you type, you hide under the keyboard, you curse everybody on the comment section. Don't do that. That thing you don't want people to do to you, don't do it to other people. Stay safe. Those platforms are not there for destruction. It's people that is is making them to look like let's say social media is bad. The goal there is to connect. You can be here and connect with someone that is in Canada. Look at us. You are in Canada. I'm in United States. That is what those platform was actually intended to do. Businesses to grow your business. So how you can stay safe there is for you to know why you are there in the first place. Why are you there in the first place? So once you identify why you are in a place, trust and believe me, managing the things that come with it becomes easy. As a minor or as a teenager that you are on social media, avoid involving yourself in argument. Avoid involving yourself in things that should not even concern you. Use it responsibly. Know that whatever you do, there is somebody's feelings, there is somebody's life that you could be actually endangering. So don't involve in online argument. Most of the time, don't stay away from political topics. Stay away from arguments. Stay away from things that does not edify. your mind. Focus on the things that you can actually learn. Focus on learning some skills. Focus on if you want to follow people. I know Instagram, like you follow people, LinkedIn, you follow other people. Follow some blogs that actually define your mind, So that's how you can stay out there and browse responsibly. Um, and also understand that it is called social media. So there is a media, which is a platform, and it's social, which means you should socialize. So if it's not the intention, it could have been called something else, right? So the social means that you should connect with people responsibly. The media is like platform. So social media means for you to stay there responsibly. So be the change you want to see. Be the change you want to see. Don't be the problem. And that's how everybody can be safe online.
Okay, so keep your personal information private. Don't post it online. Have a strong password. Be sure to check, the messages and the websites to make sure that they're safe. Ask, your parents or an adult, if you're not sure. And just don't be mean online and don't get involved in bullying if you don't want to be bullied. I mean, those are all very good things. We are coming up pretty close to the time on our show today, Juliet. Do you think that there was something that we didn't cover today that maybe we should have covered?
I really think we covered it. The word that we leave everyone watching us today is social media is not going away. It's here to stay. Those platforms are not going anywhere. It's here to stay. Whatever you don't want people to know about you, don't post it. The moment you post it, you are no longer in control of that data. The more it leaves you, somebody else is not in control. Somebody else can determine what to do with that data. And if you post it, it's going to be, it may go away temporarily. But anything that you want to do in the future that has to involve with your growth, personal or professional growth, it could come back to haunt you back. So when you have that cautiousness, you will be very responsible with how you use social media. Don't don't sit on a temporary pleasure and just waste your long-term success. Don't do it now because of excitement. Excitement will get you in trouble. Seek happiness, not excitement. When you are excited, hold your hand tight. Yes, I see that many people post what they're not supposed to post when they're excited. Seek happiness, not excitement. Excitement takes you to where you don't want to be. Happiness keeps you where you need to be. So protect your information out there. And whatever you don't want anybody to know, don't post it. The moment you post it, it's no longer a secret.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that lovely talk today. I know that I enjoyed it. I know that our listeners are going to enjoy it as well. This was the first time that we went live. We are going to be going live every last Tuesday of the month with Juliet here with more exciting tips and tricks and maybe just some coffee chats. We will have to see. But thank you so much for joining me today, Juliet, and to all our listeners, thank you for tuning in. And if you can't find that motivation or inspiration for yourself today, just go out and be that motivation and inspiration for someone else. And
Yes.
we'll see you again next time.